Okay, so I thought I'd do a video about yesterday's storm. It was a third storm of January 2022 in Charlottetown, and this is just kind of 20 minutes of my 12 hours on the road yesterday, and just a little bit of the kind of an idea of what it's like. I have everything sped up here; it's double speed, and I have a lot of the stuff where it's where I'm stopped and stuff, I have a lot of it cut out. Anyway, this is just kind of to give you an idea of what it was like yesterday. Now you can see, like, the problem with yesterday's storm wasn't so much how much snow come down, but more that it came down sideways, and it was just like the right consistency and temperature to smear your windshield. You could not keep your windshield clear. And as soon as the wipers would go, everything would stick to the wipers would freeze, and they'd just be clacking, and it would be packing up and lifting the wiper off, and then all of a sudden you had to stop and you know, hit the wipers or reach out and flick them, and it was constant, and your visibility was horrible, and the wind was sideways, and like here's a really good example. So I stop here to make sure these people are okay, and he's trying to get out to clear his windshield, and so we're stopped. I'm kind of off a little bit on one side, and he's off on the other, and then there goes somebody just flying through. Good thing, like he didn't get out. He just worked out he wasn't getting out at that time, but that was a near miss. Anyway, so then he just followed me. He wanted to come back this way, so he followed me in my tracks. So, and but yeah, this gives you an idea. This is downtown. This is Water Street. Water Street, downtown Charlottetown, and you can't see anything. You can't see the harbor. You can't see the wharf. You can just see the buildings on either side of the street, and in that light, the mid afternoon light, when it's white everywhere. It's kind of whiteout conditions. Your eyes can't adjust. You're having a hard time, seeing what. There's no shadows, right? So you can't see what's a hill and what's a drift, and how deep a drift is, and you just know if it's not black, tar or either pavement, you're not gonna have traction, or you're not gonna have full traction. So I see somebody there that's stuck, can't get up the hill. So I come down here and turn around. So yeah, so I pull in here down by the Delta, or by Merchantman, whip around and head back. And you can see, like, it just can't keep the windshield clear. This is why I went off the road. Like at 3 o'clock, I parked until about 4:30, and then I got a call. Well, I got a whole bunch of texts from a bunch of different people, and there was somebody stuck in a snowbank, and she needed help. So anyway, we went out for that one again. So I asked this guy here, and he said no, he's got somebody coming for him, and he'll be fine. I think probably nobody wants to get in a stranger's vehicle under any circumstances right now. They're more scared of COVID here in PEI than we would be of getting murdered. So, but anyway, it is a bad, it's a bad time. Not really 100% responsible to be out here doing this, I suppose, during COVID, but people need help, so somebody's got to do it. Now, here's a lady walking. Again, now I stopped to check on her, but she said she was just going to the next building. So, but walking in the street because you can't get on the sidewalk, and see, when your visibility is like this, and you're walking. Now, if somebody was walking on the street and they fell, and they were covered in snow, like your chances of not hitting them, it's pretty low. Anyway, Let's turn down. This is Sydney Street. So off of Queen onto Sydney, and then get down here to the end of Sydney. This is turning onto Pownell, making that loop back around. So this is what Lower Pownell looks like. We're going like past King, past whatever, First Street, and this is the intersection at Water. You can't see, like, you can't even see the wharf there. You come down through here, like, and this was one of those things that the roads weren't the worst part of yesterday. It was the visibility between the sideways snow and the glare from the sun, and that you couldn't keep your windshield clear. It was kind of slimy. It just like it smeared everything, and you couldn't get the wipers to stay clean. You stop every 3 minutes. It just wouldn't stay clean. Anyway, so this is heading out Water Street East, and gone by Peaks Key and the coffee shops down there. And now you'll notice here, anybody in a car is kind of forced to drive in the middle of the road here. And you really can't tell where the lines are half the time, and neither can the other people. So this is what makes this really dangerous. Okay, so this is the intersection at the bridge, and you can see visibility. You can't barely see the Tim Hortons building there, and that's your Irving and the oil tanks. And so I turn in left here, and the snow is pretty deep. So you see here, I pull in, I come to a stop, I straighten up, I back up, and check both ways. I back up right into the middle of the intersection, then give it and just make it through here. It looks a little faster because it's double time. This is double speed, this video. So anyway, we get down through here. This is probably all about a foot deep or a foot and a half. And then there's some blown spots here. But that drift is probably 2.5 feet deep. A little Corolla or Civic or whatever, I can't remember. Anyway, it's in there good. So she grabs her bag of groceries to take to work because she's thoughtful. Anyway, look at her coming through the snow, and after waiting there, I don't know how long she was there, but anyway, we get her off and get her to work. So, but yeah, you can see like the snow is deep, but you can't tell, like even in the video, you can't tell the depth of that snow because it's like the light's coming from all directions. You can't perceive depth perception or shadow or any of it. So that's what made it so dangerous yesterday, was that just the lighting and the fact that you couldn't keep your windshield clean. It was very, very dangerous, and people were not driving slow. They were all driving fast, trying to make it through the next drift. So if you stopped to help somebody, you couldn't get out of your vehicle. You couldn't, because if you stopped to help somebody, you might get run over. And you couldn't entice somebody else to get out of their vehicle either. So anyway, that's why I went off the road and sat for a while. So anyway, this was just a little bit of fun. Like I say, this is 10.5 minutes, which would be a double speed. That's say 21 minutes of time out of a 12-hour day of out driving, getting people to and from work. So anyway, a little bit of winter fun. I enjoy getting out, and if if you're in the area and you're in a bind, try and get in touch with me. See if I'm around, if I'm available, I'll always come out and help whoever I can. So anyway, hope everybody enjoys this and gets a little bit of an idea if you weren't out. I guess something else I should mention is I see a lot of people getting stuck that are new to the island, or if it's nasty out, if they're telling you to stay off the roads, you really should, especially if you don't have a lot of experience being out in it. You don't have a vehicle for this type of weather with the proper tires and the raised ground clearance and full four-wheel drive. And, like me, I have two locking differentials. And, like, if you don't have all that stuff, you really don't want to be out in this, because it could cost you a lot of money or something worse.